Going through prostate cancer, being a prostate cancer survivor, I remember looking at all of the material out there that was directed towards men and prostate cancer and trying to raise awareness. And one of the things I noticed that all of the pictures of all of the men that were on the material all had gray hair, and I don't. And well, most of it's still dark. But anyway, I thought, you know, I was 49 and I was diagnosed, and maybe it's time that the younger generation is made aware that the younger generation is at risk. And so I sat down and I started to just, I laughingly call it was my Forrest Gump moment when I sat down and I started to write my thoughts and my stories and my experiences down. And initially it was very therapeutic. It was just me telling me what had happened, just in case I'd forgotten anything. And again, going back to the Forrest Gump analogy, I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and then one day I stopped. In 2010, my book, With the Snap of a Glove, was released. And it's kind of like a soap opera because it goes through the highs and lows of going through this. It's one man's adventure through prostate cancer. And it talks specifically about how life continues to go on, because I was in the recovery room. My mother was terminally ill with another type of cancer, lung cancer, and she was dying. And my wife had a miscarriage. So trust me, it wasn't the best of times. And I think that's important to emphasize too, that, you know, life continues to go on, the highs and the lows. You just have to focus on recovering. You know, I have nothing against these major corporations having these major golf tournaments, let's pick on that, and have a big poster up, you know, support prostate cancer by doing this and that. But I want to make sure that I focus on the guy that works in the pro shop cleaning the golf clubs. I want to make sure that he knows what he needs to know about prostate cancer. So I came up with a video, and it's called Dad, We Need to Talk. And it involves a high school girl coming home after hearing somebody at her school talk about prostate cancer and seeing one of the Movember posters, and convinces her dad to go and see his doctor and get checked. About a month ago, I actually received an email from a lady in Omaha, Nebraska, who said that her 15-year-old daughter had found my video on YouTube and watched it, and had a very good relationship with her dad, who was 53, that danger zone, and was suffering from what I refer to as male pattern dumbness, and being stubborn, didn't go to his doctor. And she sat down and she had that conversation with her dad, and after a couple of conversations, she must be a very dedicated young girl, he decided to give in, go see his doctor. And the message was that he was diagnosed with early stage prostate cancer and was going through treatment, and prognosis was very positive. And I remember her at the end of her email was, "God bless you for what you're doing." And I remember reading that and closing down my computer and said, what's next? So right now I'm actually working on another project, which will take the initial video, which is Dad, We Need to Talk, to the next step. And in fact, it's called Take the Next Step. We're in the process now of videoing that one, and we should have that ready for distribution, I'm hoping, by the end of the summer. So that's the what's next for now, because you know, I don't think it'll ever be enough, because there's so many people out there that are being affected by this disease.
Some prostate cancers are high risk, aggressive, and more likely to spread. Others are low risk, least likely to have bad outcomes. The biopsy says cancer, but current diagnostic tools provide limited information about how aggressive a man's individual disease is. So most men decide to treat prostate cancer immediately. Once treated, many men experience serious long-term side effects, like incontinence and sexual impotence. Immediate treatment isn't always needed. But right now, a man can't be sure if his cancer is the kind that is likely to require treatment, or if he's okay to wait for now. What if there was a test that could determine how aggressive prostate cancer is? Genomic Health is developing a new test to do just that. By reviewing the underlying biology of the tumor, and using genes from multiple biologic pathways. The test can predict the aggressiveness of prostate cancer when diagnosed, allowing a man to make a more informed treatment decision with confidence, taking care of himself with more information and greater peace of mind.